I am so excited to have you.
Oh my God, I'm excited too. Don't you just love LinkedIn, Lenise? I mean, look at that. Look at the power of a platform when it's used to actually do what it's meant to do, and that's connect people. Don't you think it's just so powerful? Exactly. Okay. So Lenise, first of all, thank you for having me. I really do appreciate it. It's just so awesome to be connected on the other side of the world. And here we are having a conversation, which is just so absolutely awesome. You know, the field of work that I do is actually really about connection. At the end of the day, when you really break it down to a nano level, it is really about heart connections. And I work with people typically who are either transitioning out of their corporate careers in very senior roles, they're leaving multiple six figure salaries, or I even work with coaches and consultants who are sort of stuck at that five figure and they can't penetrate through to that six figure level. And typically, where my area of expertise is actually quite a few areas. And my background has led me to be able to merge my areas of expertise into an actual solution, which is very, very systems design driven. And there's aspects of my of what I do that are really important, you know, especially those that are transitioning and starting their own coaching or consulting business or their service based business. And I've been able to master personal branding, converting wisdom, professional and personal wisdom into an actual, what I call signature solution, and wrap that around with a sales and marketing system. And my area of specialization is organic reach. And I also am very passionate about the embodiment part of it, actually becoming that version of you. And so I've been able to, you know, merge what I call the loves of my life and pull that together into a very systemized solution so I can really help people go from the thought of becoming a service-based business to actually doing it. I think that the inspiration for me actually is the actual fact that I invested in coaches myself and it was such a disastrous experience. People that claim to deliver results and outcomes and transformation actually can't deliver that. And actually that was my activation point. I looked at those two coaches that I invested. One was 30,000, the other was 20,000. And I looked at myself in the mirror and I thought, I don't want to be that. That is not what I want to become. I want to be able to deliver results, outcomes, and transformation. And I know how to do that because I have a very systems design approach. And of course, the other thing, and I think that the thing that I'm really passionate about, and I think what I really stand for is fulfilling dreams. Like that is the thing that I absolutely stand for. So it was a combination of what I stand for, it was a combination of my experience. And of course, it was logically, I was asking myself, what can I do with all of this wisdom? You know, this coaching business that I have now is my third startup business. Like, you know, I've had a software company, I've had a tech company where we developed peripherals for the tech industry. So I'm not afraid of starting new businesses, but I do believe in my heart of hearts that anything that I've ever done always match that notion that if I can't deliver outcomes, results, and transformation, that I don't want to do it. Because what am I then promising? I'm just promising air. And that is not me at all. I love that question. One of the things in my business that we've spent a lot of time and investment in is we've actually developed a software which is called Authority. And that software does exactly that. When people work with me, their very first step is they log into that software and it extracts. Think of it like, you know, somebody unzipping you and extracting all of your attributes, your gifts, your talents, your core values, your strengths. We don't look at weaknesses. We just look at strengths. We look at the things that you can do, your abilities, your passions, your hobbies, every aspect of that individual is brought to life in the form of data. Because when I have data, then I can actually do something with it. I need to see the core essence of that individual, their core truth. What is it that I can do for sure? We look at their skill sets, we look at their professional careers. We even go so deep that we even walk them through their hero's journey to understand where are they at on their hero's journey. And one of the key elements of doing that, the outcome of doing that, is we can understand what have they learned on their journey that they can incorporate into their solution. This is really powerful. And so the software gives us a very solid foundation based on the truth, and that is our very starting point. And once we have that, then we can start organizing all of the information to create a solution that is logical. You start here, you end here, but the key with every solution that we create has to equal outcomes, results, and or transformation. Because you can't package a weakness. A weakness is not a solution. Now, you could argue and say, yes, but a weakness could also be a skill that perhaps somebody can learn and incorporate into their solution. And you're absolutely right. However, the people that I work with are typically middle age. They're 40 plus, they've already got 20 years under their belt, 30 years under their belt. And what they're looking for is to monetize their wisdom. So when you look at wisdom, you're not really going to incorporate your weaknesses. You are going to incorporate your lessons, your trials and tribulations, even your failures, because there's massive, massive, currency in failure. I absolutely embrace that. But when we look at weaknesses, we can look at it because Lenise, we're not looking at it from the standpoint of a job description or a career, profile. We're looking at this from the standpoint of building a solution that delivers outcomes, results, and transformation. A weakness can't deliver transformation, outcome, and results because it's not your natural state of being. If something's not a part of your natural state of being, why are we walking an uphill battle? We don't need to incorporate the weaknesses because that is not how I was made. It's not a part of my DNA print. So I don't need to focus on that. I just want to focus on the area that I can do with ease and grace. I always say to everyone that I work with, especially those that are in still in their corporate job, to not leave your corporate job until you're actually ready to flip the switch. And the reason I do that is because I've created an environment where they can actually do that. Build your contingency plan outside of your 9 to 5 and stay in your 9 to 5. Something very magical happens when you do that. When you actually decide that, yes, I want to transition out of corporate and I want to move into my own business, and you're actually building your contingency plan, your focus is no longer in your 9 to 5 job. You're going to go into that job elated. You're going to be high energy, high frequency, because suddenly the focus is not the job. The focus now is on actually creating an actual business entity outside of that 9 to 5. And it really requires that mindset because when you can have both happening in parallel, it takes the pressure off. I think that a lot of people that promote this notion that you have to leave your job to start a new business, I don't believe in that paradigm at all. I think it puts people in a vulnerable situation. And also, we have to be realistic, Lenise. Starting a business is not easy. Monetizing it is not easy. Finding clients is not easy, especially if you don't have systems in place. If this is not your natural state of being and it's all new to you, could you imagine just cutting the ties of your job and then starting this new business, believing somewhere, somehow in your little mind that, you're going to make $1 million in 24 hours. Suddenly 12 months goes by and you still haven't made your first $10,000. So we have to tread carefully and we have to do things succinctly and in logical order so that when people are starting their business, they're building the contingency, but they're also still in their safety zone. And I think that's really important. Now, those people that have already transitioned out and they're already starting their coaching and consulting business and they're really stuck at, maybe 5 figures a month or, 4 figures a month, and they just can't penetrate through that limitation. For those people, I say you need systems in place. If you don't have systems in your business, you will always be stuck where you are trying to, figure it out or looking for different outcomes with the same mind that created the situation that you're in right now. If you have no systems, it's going to be really, really difficult to penetrate through the noise.
Along with that, what do you think some of the common misconceptions are about making a transition? And from your standpoint, how do you address that with your client?
I think the biggest misconception about the transition is that it's really easy to be an entrepreneur and to make 6 or 7 figures a year and just implement this sales funnel and it will do this and blah, blah, blah. So I don't believe in that whole get rich quick ideology. I think that it's very dangerous. It's not reality. That is absolutely not reality. And what I like to promote is this is why systems are so important, Lenise, because once you understand that there are systems that are accessible and you can follow those systems and implement them in increments, get micro results, move to the next step. This is my approach to business. It's, do things in increments, implement, get the result, see the fruits of your labor come to fruition, move to the next step. And if we do it slowly and in increments, you're actually also enjoying the journey along the way. You're not following this idea that I want to make money, I'm chasing the end dollar, I'm chasing leads, I'm chasing sales, because that is so stressful and it really is an uphill battle.
Mhm.
What people don't understand about starting your own business, Lenise, is that we also need to understand that it's never going to work on day one because we need a feedback loop. We need to gather information. We need to understand our audience. We need to understand behaviors. We need to understand what is happening in the outside world. What is the feedback I'm getting from what I'm putting out, and start analyzing that so we can make better content. We can create better sales funnels. We can create better lead generation strategies, etc. But we've got to do things in increments because the feedback loop is the key to everyone's success.
Hmm. I want to talk about branding
Mhm.
because I think that that's equally important to your success. How do you define your personal brand?
Well, the thing is that your personal brand becomes you, the business. So your personal brand is you, the business. You're not hiding behind a corporate brand like Apple say. Your name is the brand. So when I'm looking at people's personal brands, what I'm looking at is their brand essence, what I call the core brand truth. Because in the brand essence, Lenise, I'm looking at who are you in your natural state of being? What are the attributes that make up Lenise? What is your soul print? What is your DNA print? How can we bring Lenise's authentic state of being out into the world so she can be unapologetically herself? That is when you rise and shine. And we have to stop using language like building a personal brand because I and you, Lenise, and everyone else that's an individual, an actual human being, we cannot build our brand. We can only define our brand essence. Our clients, our prospects, the people that follow our work on and off social media, they're the ones that are building our brand. I can't build my brand. The outside world builds my brand on my behalf based on the ecstatic brand experiences I can give them. And this is key here, my consistency, how I show up, the language I use, the things that I stand for, the conviction in my voice when I'm talking about my area of expertise, understanding who I want to start a conversation with. What is the language that my audience actually use? How do I tap into that? Am I aligned with that? Is what I'm saying the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Or am I regurgitating somebody else's content to make myself look like a rock star? Because that does not last for very long. What we need to understand and appreciate when I'm looking at personal branding, I'm looking at your soul print. When you put yourself out there on social media, I want people to feel your energy and connect with that, not connect with words that you're regurgitating in a post because you think that your competitor wrote a great post. So you're going to copy that and paste that and look like, and believe that that's going to make you look really smart. No, no, no. That's doing what somebody else is doing. We have to get to the state of being in order to connect with our target audience. And that's when personal branding takes a whole new, uh, you go on a whole new level, when you actually take that approach to personal branding.
You bring up an excellent point of being authentic, and I think a lot of people have difficulty balancing what they think is authenticity with professionalism.
Mhm.
It can also be terrifying to make yourself vulnerable.
Well, I think that the thing is, Lenise, in today's day and age, unfortunately, we actually have to be vulnerable because here's the thing, it's in our vulnerability where we connect with people. We have to actually understand this. This is a really important point that I'm making, is that the things that we resist are the things that we should be talking about. The things that make us vulnerable are the very things that we should be talking about. The things that make us so scared are the things that we need to talk about. Because when you talk about those things, you're going to connect with your audience because they're thinking exactly the same thing. That's how they're going to connect with you at a heart to heart level. So I have this notion in my in my strategy, my approach, especially in lead generation. And I say to my clients all the time, we have well and truly bypassed know, like, trust. This is a digital marketing terminology. I want everyone to push that aside for a moment because really we're in the know, love, buy economy. We need people to get to know us at that deep core heart level because then they fall in love with us because they resonate, they connect. They're aligned with exactly what it is that you're talking about because you're not doing what other people are doing. You're being unapologetically yourself and you're coming from a place of pure truth. That's when your clients start or your prospects start connecting with you and then they convert into actual paying clients.
How do you think social media has either hurt or helped?
I think social media is actually the best thing that's happened for entrepreneurs, to be quite frank. I mean, I've been in the digital space for 23 years, so I don't know any other industry except the tech industry. It's been, the backbone of everything that I have done in all my businesses and my career. And I think one of the things that we need to remember is that we can use social media to either empower us or disempower us. And I use it purely from the standpoint to empower my voice. I want to be a voice. I want to be an advocate for women. I want people to know what I stand for. I want to bring my core brand essence to the table. I want to start a conversation with the women that I serve. And I don't look at social media as the evil, out there. Even though, there is evil aspects to it, I'm not aligned with that. What I'm aligned with, how can I amplify my voice? How can I share what I can bring to the table with the world? How can I serve the people that I know I can help for sure? And be a voice for those people, bring them into my ecosystem, show them how to do what I know how to do at the back of my hand. So we have to use it for the greater good, not for the greater evil. And I think that it all comes down to your perception of the world. My perception of the world is not that the world is evil. My perception of the world is that, oh my God, there's so much to do, so many possibilities, regardless of what the world truly is. Yes, it is chaotic. Yes, it is evil. Yes, there are bad people. But I'm not turning a blind eye to that. What I'm saying is that my reality that I choose to live in every single day is to create greater good in the world, not greater bad.
You've been in this, for 20 plus years, you say, and you speak with such confidence. I'm curious, how do you build your individual confidence?
Lenise, that's an interesting question. I talk about this all the time. And, confidence to me is actually staying in your lane and having the capacity to speak with conviction in the area of your specialization. The things that you know for sure, the outcome of that is confidence, because I'm not referencing books or notes or PowerPoint presentations when I'm talking about my area of expertise. It's 23 years of wisdom that is coming out in this conversation that you and I are having right now. It's not 23 books, it's not 23 days, nor is it 23 months. And this is why I always talk about the wisdom economy being our greatest currency. And it truly is our greatest currency. And until we understand that we are all sitting on a gold mine of wisdom, we can all speak with conviction and confidence when we actually stay in that area that we know for sure.
Very well said. Is there anything else you want to add that you feel we have not covered in this conversation?
I just think that, and I just, as an extension to what I just said, Lenise, I think that we have such an amazing opportunity in the world right now, especially those people who have um, accumulated thousands of hours in their corporate careers, and they are specialists in one or two areas, not just professionally, but in their personal experience as well. And that wisdom is a currency. It truly is. We need to look at it like that, because here's the opportunity that awaits for those sort of people. The world is in chaos. You have a look at corporations, you look at individuals, entrepreneurs. Everyone is looking for a solution. And the people that have the expertise are the ones that are in high demand right now. People do not want information anymore. They don't want to consume knowledge and more content. What they want is solutions. They want methodologies. They want systems that deliver outcomes, results, and transformation. Those people that have 10, 20, 30 years of experience in their professional and their personal life, you are in hot demand. Do something with that wisdom.
If people should want to reach out to you to further this conversation or perhaps um, employ your services, how can they reach you?
Well, first of all, you can email me, Mary at maryhendersoncoaching.com. You can go to my website, maryhendersoncoaching.com. Please connect with me on LinkedIn and my personal Facebook at Mary Henderson Coaching. And just send me a message. I'm open to having a conversation or just even having a Zoom call and just having a discussion. I'm totally an open book.
Mary, I'm so happy we connected.
Thank you, Lenise. Thank you for having me.
I am going